you can tell that things have happened on the programme when I start dreaming up titles for segments. Unfortunately, two things happen when I dream up a title for a segment. The first is, well, one of two things happen. The first is I immediately forget about it and it disappears, or I get very excited and order a jingle that takes 9 months to arrive because everybody's too busy giving the newsagents whatever it is they've asked for recently, and I have completely lost all sense of enthusiasm by the time the jingle finally arrives. But anyway, we're thinking of calling this the Farage Files, because Henry Riley and I have this week stumbled into an investigation into what would happen if we treated Nigel Farage's outfit in the same way that the Daily Mail treats it, well, in the same way that the Daily Mail and most of the UK media treats the Labour Party. We had 4 stories on Monday. We had 4 stories yesterday. We've probably run out of stories by today, Henry.
5.
You sound like Len Goodman.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. 7? No, 5 stories today. Sorry, that was a bit much, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean...
Well, to take it away, Maestro.
Okay, well, let's go first with working from home, which was obviously a conversation on LBC yesterday and today. This rally that Nigel Farage gave in Birmingham, he said, quotes, people aren't more productive working at home. It's a load of nonsense. They're more productive being with fellow human beings.
How does he know? He hasn't had a job since he joined UKIP.
He said they're more productive being with fellow human beings and working as part of a team. You can't go on the sick because you've got mild anxiety. And he went on and said, yeah, people aren't productive working at home. But we found 2 jobs by Reform UK in the last couple of months, one that's still active that do have home working. As
what, his own outfit?
Yes, working for Reform. So one current job vacancy, James, in case you're interested, is Regional Director for Reform South Central Region. It carries a 50 grand salary. Okay. And the location is home working with occasional travel within the region.
Right.
There's a second job.
Who's he going to blame for this?
This second's job is on Grab Jobs. It's just closed. It was for something previously, but that was a remote / work from home job to be a by-election manager for the party.
So that's the only... I mean, there could be more, but we've only spent about 10 minutes looking, and those are two jobs that are currently being advertised in his own outfit. Yeah. That involve working from home while he is simultaneously making strange speeches at strange rallies about why he would abolish working from home. I mean, there's nothing to stop him abolishing working from home in his own company, is there?
No, nothing to stop him.
But he hasn't.
Well, according to these job adverts, no. One of them's still up, one of them has closed. Happy to be clear, but one of them is still up.
Have you applied?
No.
You go undercover?
No.
If you shaved your moustache off.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to shave off, to be honest. Other stories, James. Let's go to the Russia debate that took place in Parliament. Yeah, this was on Monday. It's because of a petition, that carried 114,000 signatures and demanded a public inquiry into the sort of relationship with Russia across the political spectrum.
You'd expect, I mean, Farage wants to make things absolutely crystal clear that Nathan Gill, his very close friend and protégé and the leader of his party in Wales, who was convicted and sent to jail for taking bribes from a Kremlin stooge for essentially injecting propaganda talking points into public discourse. Farage must be very keen to distance himself from this. Did he speak at it, or was he just in the audience?
No, I mean, it was well attended, but there was no Reform UK MP. They've now got 8 who attended that debate.
The 30p Lee?
No, none of them attended this.
The woman driven mad by black faces on television adverts?
Sarah Pocham was not at the debate. They've been accused of pandering to Russia.
Remember any others? Who were the others?
One Labour MP. It was Sarah Pocham, Lee Anderson, Danny Kruger.
Was Danny Kruger not there?
Danny Kruger wasn't there. Suella Braverman.
Was Suella Braverman there?
Suella Braverman wasn't there. Robert Jenrick.
So none of them were there?
None of them.
Okay. That's a shame.
But the government does have this independent Rycroft review that's set to publish next month, by the way. That was in the aftermath of the Nathan Gill sentencing, which is going to look at the relationship with Russia.
Of course, should remind our listeners that Vladimir Putin is the politician on this planet that Nigel Farage admires the most. It's important to distinguish him from Donald Trump, who is the bravest man that Nigel Farage has ever met. That's 2, as far as if I'm keeping count correctly.
That's 2. You're a fan of your numbers. 3 is Reform donation, which is this. I mean, this has been bubbling away for a little while. It's fairly complex, so stay with me. But it was initially broken by the Sunday Times, and the Financial Times now have done some reporting into it because the senior Labour MP Liam Byrne, who chairs the Business Select Committee, has said Companies House needs to look at this. It all centres around a £200,000 donation to Reform UK and links to an Iranian-born billionaire. That's Sashan Gandhari, who's a British citizen. Now, the donations are made by John Richard Simpson, who's a church warden and conveyancer, and he's listed as the person with control of this company, IAL Limited. As I say, but last year, £200,000 of donations to Reform UK. But there's now been links from that company that he's involved with and the Gandhari family. Now, they're important because they paid for Nigel Farage's recent trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Oh, I see.
They also claim that Nigel Farage was an advisor to their organisation.
Yes.
Nigel Farage, spokesperson, categorically denies that, but did say that their
what were
company...
they paying for then?
Well, they did pay for Nigel Farage to be a delegate.
Yeah, but what do they get in return?
Well, that
he's not advising them.
That's unclear. But they paid for Mr. Farage and a member of staff to go to the World Economic Forum. The IAL, the company, said that this church warden, John Richard Simpson, is the person with significant control. But they did confirm that the Gandhari family are clients of RAL Limited.
3.
Well, number 4...
Or 11, if we were to be covering the whole week.
4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11. So this would be number 12.
Carry on.
12, yeah. University Society. This is Bangor...
Damn humanities degrees, eh? Honestly.
No, it's social science after all, isn't it? This is a university of Bangor, or actually not the university, because this is a student debating society. Now, what happened here is it's caused a bit of a stooshy up in Wales, because Reform's head of policy, Zia Youssef, has now threatened to withhold funding from Bangor University after their student...
after winning power.
Well, yeah, after winning power. Not that he pulls the purse strings at the moment.
Right.
The Student Debating Society there refused to host 2 figures from Reform UK, one of whom was Sarah Pochin, the MP who you referenced earlier on.
The one who's driven mad by blackfaces on the television.
Who made that comment and has apologised. Bangor University received £30 million in state funding a year. Zia Youssef said that much of that comes from Reform voting taxpayers. I wonder how they would feel being without it. However, Reform's Welsh branch, because they've got that new leader that we spoke about, Dan Thomas.
Do we know where he lives yet?
He claims to live in Wales but has an address in Bath and was leader and is a councillor in Barnet up until a few months ago. In Barnet, London. He has said that that's not Reform Party policy. They don't want to defund Bangor University. Now, to get expertise on this, I spoke earlier with Podrick Reedy, who is editor-at-large of The Lead. He, crucially as well, was previously at Index on Censorship. And he told me about the sort of the idea here from Reform and the distinction between the society and the university.
What's happened here is that Reform have reached out and asked to speak. The Debating Society, which is a private members' society, which can dictate its own rules and who it wishes to speak and not to speak at their events, has declined and quoted there, said that Reform and Sarah Pochin are contrary to their values. And Reform have gone out with the story saying that they've been banned. Now, they've been no more banned than, say, an LBC listener, caller who does not get picked for the show that day, if I write an article and it doesn't get submitted to a newspaper and it doesn't get used, that doesn't mean I'm banned. That means I don't have any right to speak there in the first place. Or indeed, if I was to say to Reform that I want to speak at their conference and they politely declined, I don't think I claim that I've been banned. I hadn't been invited in the first place. But of course, Reform have got the headline they want now. And they can make a fuss. They can make Trumpian noises about defunding the university, which has nothing to do with the decision. So it's a weird success for Reform, but it has nothing to do with free speech.
So dishonest and pathetic. So if we don't invite Sarah Pochin to our birthday parties, we'll be accused of banning her.
Yes,
or if she asks to come to our birthday party.
And we said no.
Certainly not.
I've got an invite
I've
list.
got black friends. I don't want you to be driven mad by their faces, you might say. Then we'd be banning her from our birthday party.
Well, quite.
Despite
It wouldn't
not
be.
knowing her.
It wouldn't be banned.
Certainly not wanting her at our birthday party.
And that distinction there, as Poderick really makes about the university, very keen to stress that they have not banned reform, rather one of their independent societies run by students.
You pay to be a member of, presumably. I was at the University College Dublin Philosophical Debating Society last week. And, they are incredibly independent and entirely student-run. It's got absolutely nothing to do with central funding.
Yes.
Which they know. This is what we're reading between the lines. Poderick's well aware that they know this reform. They're just trying to... they are demonstrating contempt for the intelligence of their own supporters because they know that the headline and the provocation will work, even though the facts don't back up the claim at all. Pathetic, as I say, and dishonest. That's 3.
No, 4. That was 4. This is number 5. One more now. We're going to be slightly careful because obviously there's a by-election coming up. So this is with regards to the Gorton and Denton by-election. This has been widely publicised.
Full list of candidates is available at lbc.co.uk.
Thank you. There was Matt Goodwin, who is the Reform candidate. There was a hustings last night.
Well, he was in one of yesterday's stories slagging off Nigel Farage for being potentially an absolutely rubbish Prime Minister. But that was yesterday's story, not today's.
In a historic post, he did say that Mr Farage does not have the answers to Britain's problems and that Reform doesn't have the answers. But he's the candidate, and he pulled out of a hustings. The organisers, sources close to the organisers, have told me that happened last minute and only minutes before he posted on social media. Now, there are 2 reasons. The official reason, Matt Goodwin says in his statement, I've never been one to shy away from free and fair debate. I have serious concerns about the impartiality of the hustings that have been organised for tonight. Previous statements by the organising group give the clear impression that a fair and level platform will not be provided for all candidates. On that basis, I will not be attending. Now, it's organised by a local group called Local Voices. It was at the Gorton Methodist Church, and each candidate had 2 minutes to answer each question. I've also spoken with sources close to organising the event, and a charge levied at Mr Goodwin, which he has not responded to as of yet, is that he asked for a green room before the hustings.
All to himself?
Yeah, well, to have a sort of private moment maybe before the debate starts. But they told him that at a Methodist church...
He's working on an erotic novel.
Well, that would give us more content. But he did tell us that the sort of claim is that because it was at a Methodist church, James, they're not aplenty green rooms with Methodist churches.
Presumably, and not much else.
Yeah, and so I think the point was made that wouldn't be possible.
Right.
And then, obviously, the green room issue was not an issue in the end because Mr Goodwin did not attend the debate.